If you've been around our content here at Video Creators for any length of time, you have heard us talk a lot about how to use storytelling to engage your viewers, to hook their attention, to create an emotional bond with them, to get them to give you more watch time, to be more likely to subscribe, to build trust that converts into conversions for your sales and for products and services. Storytelling is such a powerful tool. But the main feedback, the main pushback I get from creators are from those who are more in the traditional educational space. They're more how-to type channels. They're doing more to teach people how to do something, how to overcome something, how to create something, whatever. And I hear that so often. People are like, you know what? This makes sense, Tim. I get it, but it doesn't work for me. I'm just trying to do this thing. I'm just thing. Like, I'm just trying to make spreadsheets. I'm just trying to talk about this, or I just want to teach people how to make this craft or whatever. How to story go with what I'm doing. And so today, Delana and Ingrid are here, two of the YouTube strategists on our team. And the three of us want to talk together about like, how do we help creators do that? And if that is you, by the end of this episode, I want to give you a formula, an actual, like, just Mad Lib that you can just fill in some blanks and boom, you're going to nail it on your first try. It's going to be your very first attempt at storytelling and you're going to crush it. It's going to be awesome for you to use in your next educational video. We're also going to hear from Chad about how he doubled his channel growth using storytelling on a very how-to informational level channel. And as always, we want to wrap up this episode with your power tip of the week, something practical you can use right now on your channel to take it to the next level. All of that and a lot more coming up in this episode.
Hey, welcome to the Video Creators Podcast. You know how you put a lot of time and energy into your YouTube channel for not nearly enough growth? Yeah, we get it. We're here today to help you change that. If you're trying to accelerate your channel's momentum, become more profitable, and change the lives of more people than ever before, today's episode will help you move forward with confidence. So far, our team is responsible for helping clients generate over 20 billion views on YouTube. And now to help you, here's the Video Creators team.
Hello, creators. How are you guys? It's great to see you again for another Video Creators podcast episode like we do here every Monday for you. Just love hanging out, talking about the more advanced techniques and tips and tactics for growing on YouTube, reaching more people, growing your business, changing their lives with the content that you're creating. And in turn, we hope this changes your life as your audience continues to grow. I'm here with Delana and Ingrid. Welcome, both of you. Good to see both of you again. It's been a while since we've had like a joint episode together.
It has been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Feels like forever.
I haven't seen us, all three of us, recording for a while. So many interview type stuff going up. Yep. So Ingrid, how are you doing?
Doing good. Hubby's a little out of town for a few days, so enjoying peace and quiet, which is really nice.
Pretty loud?
No, it's just kind of nice to know that I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, right?
Yes.
That left it wide open.
Yeah, super wide open. I just realized we don't have a good name for, we have the Schmoyer Foyer, we've got the Hunt Hut, and we had some people on Twitter, some listeners, and in Volley give us some feedback for Wittick Analytics, for Sam when he's here, Sam Wittick. What do we do for the Ingrid Blackburn?
I have no idea there. I'll have to think about that one.
Oh,
That's putting me on the spot.
We need some more potty and suggestions or suggestions. What do we do with Ingrid Blackburn? The Blackburn, I don't know.
I don't know.
The Black Barn.
Well, how about the Hunt Hut? What's going over there? It's not quite a hut. It's pretty big for a hut, but how you guys doing over there?
We're doing great. I have talked about on the podcast before that I started working with a personal trainer. And now I'm training for a bodybuilding competition. And I don't mean to take you guys to the gun show, but I'm getting some muscle here.
Get some guns?
Nice.
Guns. So if you're watching on YouTube, then you can see a little bit here. Some of you guys will be like, wow, those are still noodles for arms, but that's okay. They are less noodly. Now they're getting they're getting some curve. Like they're more like macaroni noodles rather than spaghetti noodles.
They went from spaghetti noodles to pool noodles. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
That's
So,
felt mean. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way, but
nope,
you
it's
get
accurate.
it.
Yep, pool noodles have structure.
That's
Definition.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a
Yeah.
lot stronger than spaghetti
Yes, they
noodles. So,
are.
And they hurt when you get hit by them. So
yeah.
yeah.
So,
Sometimes. Depends on who's hitting you. Well, here at the Schmoyer Foyer, we've been rebuilding our homestead after our dogs came and killed all our chickens, or not our dogs, our neighbors' dogs came and killed all our chickens, and all the trauma went with that with our kids, and so now we have a puppy named Buddy, and we've got 24 new chicks that are now in our garage, growing up to be new egg-laying chickens, and uh, looking into how do we train the dog to be a good guardian livestock dog, and so lots of emotions and feelings here, but it feels like it's getting back to like okay, there's a lot of sadness, but now we got a dog and chicks, and it feels like it's coming back to life again. So
And you need to buy eggs.
yeah, I gotta buy eggs again, but we freeze dried a lot of our old eggs, and so now we're just pulling them out of storage and using them until, because we were just going to keep them for the winter when they don't lay eggs as much, but dipping into our stash now. This week's Creator Spotlight, I want to introduce you to Chad Carson. Chad is very much like a lot of the creators we've worked with. He's like, I want to teach you guys how to do real estate. And he's like, how do I wrap story around real estate? Like, I'm just teaching people this stuff. So I got a little clip here from Chad about his experience working here with us. And then Delina is the strategist on the team who worked with him, and she'll share a little bit about the results he got and how he did that.
Before working with video creators, I was making videos and I was putting them out there, but I really didn't get how YouTube could work for me personally and what my own approach to YouTube would be that would be successful. And after working with them, I can say that I have much more confidence in the process, and I know what's going to work for me, and the results have shown themselves. We have a lot of good stats now. We're getting a lot of traction. And what I would say for anybody who's considering working with them, that it's sort of a no-brainer to work with a third-party coach. You can get all the information you want, but you need somebody to give you feedback specifically to your situation. And that's really what made all the difference for us. And it was a great investment of my time and my money.
Delina, when we were talking before we hit record, you said that he more than doubled his growth and his views on his channel by using story, right?
Storytelling. We primarily focused together on storytelling and then refining his titles and thumbnails so that they were more effective. And I mean, you can have a really good title and thumbnail, but if the video itself isn't engaging, it really doesn't matter. So playing is what I was about to say. Storytelling played a huge role in those strategies and that growth. Yeah, he more than doubled his average views per video, and more than doubled his subscriber growth rate and stuff like that. So yes, it was so thrilling to see. It's everything that you want to see and more.
Well, we're gonna talk more about how you guys did that today. But if you guys want to check out his channel, there's a link down in the show notes of this episode. You can go check out his channel and see how he's doing it as an educator on YouTube and how he's integrating story. And if you would like to work with Delina, Ingrid, Sam, myself, whoever on our team, we'd love to help you reach those new levels on your channel as well. Go to videocreators.com/discovery call, and you can book a 15-minute session with us. We just want to hear your story. We want to hear what you're doing on YouTube, what your goals are, and what some of your roadblocks are. And if it makes sense for us to work with you, we'll tell you what that could look like. And if not, no problem. We just like the opportunity to connect and hear people's stories. And so, yeah, videocreators.com/discovery call. We look forward to hopefully talking with you soon. What does it look like for you two, Delina and Ingrid, when you guys are working with someone like Coach Carson? Very like, whether it's real estate, whether it's, I keep using taxes and spreadsheets as an example, but something that, typically would feel very much more like a teachy how-to type of channel. And how do you work with them to help them start thinking about story and then integrate it into their content in a way that actually helps the channel grow? Where do you start?
I start with just going over the basic storytelling structure, and then we kind of go from there. I think one of the best things that you can do whenever it comes to just trying to scratch the surface of like, how do I even do this on in the realm of what I do and or am trying to do on YouTube is yes, you need to understand storytelling structure, but even before that, to watch a lot of videos that are outside of your niche. Like if they don't spend a lot of time on YouTube, or and especially not a lot of time outside of their niche, then having them just broaden the scope of what they can see is possible for their educational videos is the number one thing. So a lot of times I'll give them a lot of examples of content creators that teach via storytelling so that they just start to see the potentials in their content a different way. Because I mean, what's the phrase that we always use, that the best authors read the most books? It's the
Mm-hmm.
exact same principle, that the best storytellers watch the most stories or read the most stories and everything in between. Like the best YouTube creators watch the most YouTube. And so I do think that it really does start with, like, you can learn a storytelling structure, but it really does start with you first just broadening the scope of what you envision your content potentially being, by watching a lot of other variations of content creators and educators on YouTube. So I'll usually send them like a whole list of a bunch of people that it are different. But even then, I'm like, okay, you can start here, but you need to go and like try to find more people on YouTube that's just outside of what you would normally watch, so that you can start envisioning your content differently. And then we start getting more into the storytelling structures from there, and start to refining, because they have to like come up with different ideas, like, or at least the same ideas but from a different angle first before they can start to envision storytelling in their content,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I find that's pretty, you got to break their current not framework, but perspective of what like story is.
Yeah.
And you got to get them to start thinking about it differently, because everyone thinks like major motion picture films when you
Yeah.
start talking
Mm-hmm.
about story. And we say here at Video Creators, a story does not have to look a certain way. It
Right.
can fit into a 15-second TikTok or YouTube short or reel just as well as it can fit into a 2.5 hour major motion picture film, right?
Right.
Where do you start, Ingrid?
Yeah, for me, it's very much what you just said. You know, I try to break the perspective of a story has to be epic.
Right.
You know, that we have to go on this full-on journey. I mean, sometimes it's as simple, as, you want something, and you just start working through it. And I start talking, especially with somebody who is an educator of some kind, or you have a how-to channel, or they teach whatever it is. We work through the problem. And then how do you actually get the viewer from being in that moment where they have a problem to experience some transformation and change to the end? And you just walk through it in a simple way.
Mm-hmm.
you know what are those obstacles? I talk a lot about obstacles and just how are we going to move somebody through the story. And then by working in a practical way in a conversation, kind of they have that light bulb moment. They're like, oh, okay, I get it. It's not Lord of the Rings.
It can be,
Yeah.
but that's not what we're
Right.
doing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Not for the cooking channel on YouTube.
No, you're not gonna drop some ring into some mountain,
Yeah.
unless it's a cake mountain, I guess.
Could be ring into the sauce.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
ring into the sauce.
I I think it would be helpful to like make sure that we first, like when we talk about story, let's make it simple.
Yeah.
Let's define what we're talking about here. I like how Donald Miller really summarizes it and makes it really simple. A story is about a character who wants something and faces obstacles to get it. So it's not this complex. I mean, you can make it complex, but we're not making major motion picture films. We're just making YouTube videos and shorts and TikToks and things. So like, let's just, keep it simple, stupid, like Kiss, right? Like, let's do that. So A creator, and we're going to make it even more simple here in just a second, because I know for sometimes it's like even that a creator who wants something and overcomes obstacles to get it. That is even there. There's like several aspects you gotta think through.
Hmm.
So I think there's if we're going to really boil it down, there's a couple different ways of saying this is just show change. Just like transformation is the point of any good hero's journey story. There's a character, they want something, there's a desire there, but they face obstacles, reasons why they can't get it, and something's at stake for them if they don't get it. And so they go through all these obstacles until they get to this climax where do are they going to get it or are they not going to get it? And then, spoiler alert, they get it. But at the end of the story, the thing we really love is that the character is now different than they were at the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
And so something has changed. And usually it's something inside that character.
Hmm.
Beginning, they were, sorry, I'm going to ruin every story for you. At the beginning, if they're alone, at the end, they're going to be surrounded by people. If they're scared and insecure at the beginning of the story, at the end, they're going to be bold and secure, right? If at the beginning of the story, they are dating some sort of white collar guy in a banking system, like works at a bank corporation, and they're on their way to like some private island on vacation. By the end of the movie, she's going to be instead dating a kindergarten teacher and going to inner city to do this project or something, right? Like it'll be like it's opposites. So
Hmm.
it can take 2.5 hours, but you can do it in just 15 seconds as well. So when you guys are working with these creators, um, what exercises do you do, or what things do you say to get them to start thinking that way? Like just show change, or the point of the story is just transformation, and just make it so like, oh, I can do this. Like I get it, and make it super tangible for them to start moving forward.
One of the things that I do whenever I sense that a creator is feeling like um, I think a little stuck, where they're just kind of like story just feels really
Yeah,
big, and I
paralysis.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, they're paralysis, that's the word I'm looking for. I always try to start changing my language where I'll say, all right, we're just going to focus on either show change or tension. Like the purpose of the reason story works so well is because it keeps the viewer engaged because of the tension. Like I want to figure out what's going to happen at the end. And so tension is incredibly important, and you don't really tell a good story without tension. Um, so I say I always try to make the point like, okay, if we had to just kind of whittle all of this down, like let's just focus on building tension in the story. But also maybe even starting before that, like starting with baby steps of it doesn't have to be a full 3-act structure story. It can just start with us connecting with the viewer story whenever they're coming to your video. So if you're making a video on um I don't know what to do when your cat is pregnant, because I just went through that. um and I was watching a lot of YouTube videos actually on like how to prepare, what to expect, stuff like that. And it's
What
super
to
easy, by the
expect when
way.
your cat is expecting.
Yeah, what to expect when your cat is expecting, basically. Um, and I like one of the first things that you can do is connect with the viewer story by opening up with saying what's exactly in their mind in that moment. Like if they clicked on a video that's like what to expect when your cat is expecting, then they have all of these questions of like this is where they are right now, and at the end of the video they want to feel comfortable and confident that they can take care of their cat, right? And so maybe just even meeting them where they're at. Hey, your cat is pregnant, so you are maybe feeling X, Y, and Z. You're really not sure what to do, blah, 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 blah. Like the more that you can connect with all the thoughts that are in my head, the more I'm going to be like, ah, yes, this is the person that I need to listen to, because they know exactly where I'm at.
Right.
So it could be as simple as taking a baby step like that. Like, hey, can you just first start connecting with all the thoughts that's in the viewer's head? Because in that, you're connecting to their story and what they're living right now. now, and thus you become more credible and they want to listen to you more because of that.
So,
um
so what you're
yeah.
saying is your viewer has a story. They're watching the
Yes.
video because they are a character who
Yeah.
wants something, is facing obstacles to get it, and they're watching this video to overcome those obstacles and get it. So you're saying like
Exactly.
if you understand the viewer's story, then you can position your content to connect not just with what they want, but maybe what's at stake with what they want, or the
Mhm.
transformation they ultimately want to experience. Like for you, Delina, I'm not sure this is true, so correct me if I'm wrong. I think that you were wanting you were watching a video about how to help a cat that's pregnant, but what you really probably wanted was to feel like you were a good cat mom or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
So if a video just opened up with like, here's what to do when your cat is expecting, versus like, I just want to feel like a good cat mom. I want to take, this is my cat. I love this cat. I want to make sure like you're tapping into the viewer's story that way.
Yeah.
You're not like doing a 3 act structure, but you are
Right.
connecting better with what the viewer actually wants. And so you as the creator needs to know your viewer's story so that you can craft content that connects with what they, not just what they're looking for on YouTube, but the
Hmm.
reason why they're looking for it and wanting to consume it, the
Yeah.
transformation they want to experience. Because at the
And I feel
beginning of the
like
video, you maybe didn't feel like you were the best cat mom you could have been, but you wanted to be.
Yes.
I feel like something that you said, Tim, was really important because I think, especially for how-to creators, they get so paralyzed around all the steps of a story.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And you just really need to step back and
Hmm.
just look at the big picture, right? I feel like that's kind of like what you just said right there.
Let's see if we can make this practical for people, so they can actually walk away with this and be like, okay, I know what to do in my very next video here. So I want to give you guys like a formula that has been helpful for I found for other creators who are in this situation, who are educators and just not sure how to start integrating story. They want to, but they're like, I don't know how to do it. So I just want you to, I'm going to give you this little Mad Lib here. I just want you to fill in the blank. The Mad Lib is, I want blank, but blank, so blank. Okay. I want uh, to train my dog to protect my chickens, but I've never owned a dog before, and I don't know how to do this.
I'm hooked.
So I'm going to go to my neighbors across the street who own a dog training company. True story here. And ask them to come over and help me, and I'm going to learn. Right. So maybe that's not like I'm not positioning myself as the expert there, but that's kind of part of the what makes it interesting, right? Is it more of a story? So let's say let's make it more like if you're positioning yourself as an expert.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to uh, submit my taxes on time, but I don't know how to use Excel. So I'm going to use this tool instead. Let's figure it out. Or let me see if I can do this. So let me show you. You something. I've never used this tool before though.
Yeah.
Let's see. Right. Yeah. I have a couple other examples, but do any examples come to mind for YouTube, like past clients you've worked with, or even for
Yeah.
yourself?
There was this one client that I think he went through Video Labs, and he basically wanted to do a video teaching a editing shortcut, like how to edit your videos faster.
Mm-hmm.
And he could have very well just made a straightforward video that was just, how to do, how to make your edit faster or how to use this shortcut or whatever. But instead, he created this whole story, and he did it so well where he literally fabricated that he had this video project that he needed to get done, and he had X amount of footage that he needed to edit down, but he really only had like this short window of time in which he could do that. And if he didn't do it within the short window of time, so here comes the stakes.
Yeah.
um, if he didn't do it within the short window of time, then he wouldn't get the opportunity to finish it on time, because his wife was going to come home, his kids, he was going to need to take care of the kids and all of these things. Like
Yeah.
he was going to, like, he only had this window of time to finish it. Otherwise the project was going to be late. And so he used that story to teach how to, so basically he like set up this challenge of like, okay, now let's see if I can get this done within this time frame, and thus figured out faster editing techniques during that time frame and got the project done on time because of it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I was like, that is perfect. That is like, that is literally him putting himself in the viewer's shoes. And that is like, sometimes I feel like 95% of what we do with our clients is just trying to get them to put themselves in the viewer's shoes, and see it from their perspective. And once you can do that, then it's so much easier to storytell, because you can just literally put yourself in those stories, even if they're like these little fabricated stories that don't mean anything, but add a lot to your videos and the retention on the videos.
Yeah. There's a creator I'm working with. They normally get on average 15,000, maybe up to 20-ish thousand views per video. And mostly just in like farming, homesteading type of content. They did their very first attempt at doing a story, and their process just slowed way down. Like it wasn't just a quick video they could crank out, but they also know that they already know what kind of results they get from the types of videos they can just do off the cuff. And so they're like, we want better results. So it was a lot for them to figure it out, but they published, I think it's the video I shared with you guys on our team Slack earlier. So I don't know if you watched it or not, but I thought they crushed it. I thought like for our first attempt at a story, it was really good. And what happened, that video now is at 35,000 views, approaching 40,000. They
Wow.
showed me the retention graph on it, and it is solid. And it's not
Awesome.
perfect. There's still room for improvement for sure. It's our first attempt, but compared to what they normally see, it's solid. And that was honestly with an average title thumbnail, right? So there's still skills
Love
for
it.
them to learn, but because the watch time I think is so high, I think YouTube's like, if we get people into it, they stick around and they watch it anyway. So there's still some work to be done, but now they see it. They're like, oh yeah, like it does take us longer. There's a new skill we have to learn. Like the easy approach is just to sit down and point 1, point 2, point 3. Here's how you do it by. But the problem with that is you're just way too forgettable for people who are discovering you for the first time. And it's hard to grow the channel, and there's no emotional connection. There's nothing going on. So in terms of like, holding people's attention to watch more. So yeah, I was proud of them. It worked. They could have just done here's how you set up this barn for this type of situation. But instead they're like, we got a barn to set up, but we got to do it within 10 days, because at 10 days, this event is happening, and we need lots of friends to come help us get it ready, and it was like, but the cool part was like the lessons they were learning as a result. It wasn't just like how to do it. So anyway, let me give you maybe some other examples. Let's say I'll keep using the farming stuff. Sorry. I just want you guys to like see, like picture how easy this is. I just want you to like use this, just craft this one sentence to open up your content, right? I want to get my chickens from this side of the property to the other side of the property, but it's about to rain. I'm going to need my kids' help, and they're all in bad moods. And there's a road in the middle of the property I got to cross. If I don't cross at the right time, then the chickens will get hit by a truck. Let's see what right? And so I know that he knows that he's going to be fine. Like he knows this isn't the first time he's moved chickens, but I'm still kind of like, yeah, but it could happen, like maybe that'll happen. And so they go through, I'm still learning how to move chickens. It's still very educational, but at the end of the video, it's the family collapsing, and we actually did it. Now there's pride, and you can see the transformation. It wasn't actually about chickens. It was about a family coming together and doing good work. So yeah.
I love that. And I think, one of my favorite things to see with creators that go through this process, especially with how-to channels, is just, it's not my favorite thing to see them struggle, feel like it's really clunky. But when they go through that and get the results like you were talking about, Tim, those flat graphs, because they didn't believe it, but it always happens. They get those graphs and those results. It's so much different than before because they're injecting something that's so engaging, and that is what pulls the viewer forward,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I just love seeing it. We've seen it over and over again with not just clients that we work with one-on-one, but definitely in video labs. I absolutely love that. There is one practical thing that you said, though, that I would love to point out to people, especially that are going to try this for the first time. It's very natural, I find, to just use the word and you're layering stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But you use the word but.
Yeah.
And when you use the word but, it kind of makes you feel like there's something coming. There's a little teeny tiny bit of tension, right? But
Yeah.
crossing the road. And I knew there was a
Right.
chicken that was going to cross the road in that.
Yeah, you had to be actually. I didn't think about that,
It
but you're
had to
right.
be, right?
Yeah, people say this happened and then this happened and then this happened and then this happened. It's just a sequence of
Mhm.
events. It's not a
Yeah,
story.
series of
Yes.
And
events. Yeah.
people usually
Yes.
think that a series of events is a story, but it's not. But oh, I just did it. If I
You
just
just did it,
say
right?
Oh.
this happened, but then this happened, but then
Yep.
that happened, but then this happened. It's already a better story because you're introducing conflict and unexpected tensions and
Mhm.
changes as opposed to like this and then that and then that. And people are like, okay, right.
Yeah.
Another example I like using is instead of like a woodworking channel, just saying like, here's how you build the dresser. It's um, well, it's maybe a little different, but same principle. Uh, I want to build a better dresser for my wife because she just really hates this dresser in our room. But I've never built a dresser that looks like this before. She's out of town for the weekend, and I just want to know, could I build one that looks like this one that she likes before she gets back? I don't know, so let's find out. You know, it's like two sentences. I cheated and expanded, but the same principle. Like it doesn't have the exact formula necessarily, but you want to get those things in there, and then just doing that will hopefully help you identify this isn't what the viewer actually wants and what the story actually is, as opposed to it being about building the dresser. It's now about pleasing a wife. It's not about moving the chickens. It's about connecting as a family. It's not about, I don't know, what was the example you were just using? Oh, the cats. Yeah, it's not about pregnant cat. It's about feeling like a good cat mom, right? So, and hopefully that bad lib can help you start to figure out what the story is actually about. It's not about saving the world. It's not about avoiding
Mhm.
loss of love or finding love like some movies. It's actually about someone experiencing something much bigger than that, and the obstacles just happen to be those more tangible things. So I don't want to overcomplicate it by going into all the internal stakes and things, but just I want, but so then do the rest of the video like you normally would. And then just wrap it up at the end of like, and here we go. Show the transformation, show the change. Anything else you guys would add to that?
I would just try. You can do
Yeah.
this. Everybody can do this. Just try it.
Just do it. You can. Was that Rob
Just do
Schneider
it.
in the? Yeah. What movie is that? You can do it with Adam Sandler. Waterboy.
Is
Isn't that
that
Waterboy?
Oh,
yeah.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
that in
You
That's an
can
old
do
one.
it.
kid.
I
That's
know.
an
It was
old one.
old when I was. Yeah. For this week's power tip, I want to give you an update about a change that YouTube recently made. And Delana and Ingrid, maybe you two already know this, but did you know that YouTube Analytics now shows automatic translation metrics? So you can see which languages people are watching your videos in. So if
Oh,
YouTube's automated
no.
captions translates into other languages for you, or if
Mhm.
you're manually adding translated captions as well, you can now see an overview in your analytics audience tab for like these are other languages that people are looking at your content in and see like, oh, maybe I should be more intentional about translating this into Spanish or into Hindi or into whatever the language might be, and help you maybe discover how you can optimize for other audiences you maybe weren't expecting to have. So check it out. There's a link in the show notes of this episode if you want to see more about that and how it works. And also, if you guys have questions you want to leave for us for our upcoming Q&A episode, we always love having those once a month, maybe once every 2 months. We're just down to answer all your questions. Go to speakpipe.com anchor.com/video creators. There's a link in the show notes as well. And just record us a little voice message, audio message, and we'll play it and answer your questions in upcoming videos. So looking forward to doing that. And we will see you guys again next time for another Video Creators Podcast episode. See you guys then.